All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be going over some of the worst SEO advice ever. And this is advice that you see a lot of people just repeating very loudly all across the internet. But it's also advice that if you're following, you probably don't really know what you're doing with SEO and you're probably never going to rank. And if you do rank, you're just making things a lot harder on yourself than they should be. So hopefully by the end of this video, I will have cleared some things up and you will not be one of those people. All right, let's get into it. So I'm Chris Gegis, and you may know me from my link building agency over at sterlingsalot.co or our Facebook group or our other YouTube channel. Or maybe you've seen me around on some podcasts or at some SEO conferences, but you can head over to my website for more information on me. And in today's video, we're going to be going over a LinkedIn post by Mr. Peter Rota over here. Peter's a cool guy. We've been friends on Facebook for quite some time now, and you can see that Peter is also a bald SEO, which means that you should always listen to what he's saying. Neil Patel, bald. Brian Dean, bald. Nathan Gotch, bald. Peter Rota, bald. Me, not bald. So I don't know why you're here. I don't know why you're listening to me, but anyway. Since you already are here, go ahead and give the video a like and give my channel a sub if you're enjoying this kind of content. And yeah, just let me know if you're enjoying this kind of content. I like going over other posts that are getting really popular in the community because it gives me a chance to interact with the community and cover some things that I might have not originally thought of myself. But yeah, let me know what you think. So number one, backlinks don't matter. 100% agree here. Horrible advice. I did this video over on my YouTube channel, which is actually the most popular video that I've ever done. I go into very great detail of why this is such a horrible advice and why the exact opposite is very obviously true. Backlinks are probably more important now than they've ever been in the history of SEO. This is why Parasite SEO works. This is why Forbes is ranking for everything and you're not. This is why no matter how great the content you write is, you're going to have that one guy that's outranking you that you think's content is absolute crap. But you can watch this video on my channel for more info on that. Next, Google doesn't use click data. I guess there are some people still denying this, but we found out in the Google leaks that happened recently that Google is in fact measuring click data as well as Chrome data, measuring a lot more stuff than we previously thought. So yes, Google is measuring click data. Yes, they do use it in their rankings. And yes, you can find more information on this in some videos on my channel. Those would be those three right here. Next up, just write great content. And I will play devil's advocate a little bit on this one because I think a lot of SEOs would have a lot better time if they actually tried to write good content. But no, writing good content alone is not enough to get you ranking on Google. It does not matter how good your content is. If Forbes decides to write an article on your same keyword and they have a DR of 94, you can see here they have 80 million traffic. They are going to most likely outrank you. But there are some ways around that. And of course, you always have to take in things like your on-page SEO, your technical SEO, making sure you're targeting the keyword correctly, matching search intent, of course, backlink authority. So no, you can't write just great content, but I really wish a lot of SEOs would focus more on trying to write somewhat good content. I think this could get more important in the future as Google starts to weight these user engagement metrics more heavily. Next up, it takes 6 months to rank. Yeah, this is kind of a weird one. I don't really know who says it takes 6 months to rank. It could take shorter than that. It could take longer than that. But really, it's just going to depend on who your competition is. So there is no set amount of time that it's going to take you to rank. It's highly variable. Like in the video I did yesterday, you can see this website here really started to take off just pretty quickly after we started building links to it. And then these two right here, this one's took off when we started building links to it very quickly, whereas this one really took a really long time to start ranking better. And these might not be the best examples. These videos, of course, were on 5 content websites that were destroyed. These are websites that we have in our managed link building service that were affiliate sites, and Google is just really targeting these types of sites right now. But anyway, just a quick example for you. And it really just depends like what you're doing. Are you building links or not? Are you going to redirect an expired domain? Are you building on top of an age domain? How much content do you have on the website? How good is your content? Are you doing SEO well at all? What's the DR of your competitors? Do all your competitors have a DR in the 90s? Yeah, you're not going to rank in 6 months. You're probably not even going to rank in 12 months or maybe even 24 months. It takes a serious amount of time to compete with competitors like this because you have to build a serious amount of backlink authority, and that takes time and effort and a lot of cash. Listen to Google for SEO advice. I don't really know who's listening to Google for SEO advice. I don't know a single good SEO who listens to Google for SEO advice. And if you see people on Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever, and they're just repeating what Google says, don't listen to them. Instead, remember this, Google will never tell you how to game their algorithm. As soon as you start getting close to the secret sauce, they're going to say it's a lie, it's BS, it doesn't work, but it does work because we do testing, we're SEOs, that's how it works. Just think about a world where Google told you exactly how to game their algorithm. SEOs would just do whatever they wanted, right? It would make their product completely unusable. It would make Google horrible. It would just, everything would be bad. So all Google can do is give you very vague guidelines. They can tell you some things that they really hate, but you cannot listen to Google for what's working. Next up, technical SEO doesn't matter. Technical SEO doesn't matter for small sites. Yeah, I don't really know who's saying this because technical SEO is like, is there anything major wrong with your website, right? Do you have like keyword cannibalization? Do you have horrible site speed? Is something like broken that is causing things not to index on your website? So if you're doing SEO and you're not checking your technical SEO from time to time, you're kind of just like this guy on the bike, right? Like you're kind of just hurting yourself. You have a machine, your website just doesn't work. You definitely want to make sure your site doesn't have any of these major issues. Next up, technical SEO is a one-time job. Yeah, nothing in SEO is a one-time job, not on-page SEO, not writing your content, not building backlinks. Like SEO is definitely not something you just do and then stop doing it. So with technical SEO, just like everything else, you want to go and audit it from time to time. You can do that every 3 months, every 6 months, every year, whatever. Just make sure you're going in and you're auditing it from time to time. You can do that with a tool like Screaming Frog, which is incredibly cheap for such a useful SEO tool. And if you're wondering what other tools I recommend, you can head over to my website, click this recommended tools button here at the top. And I got a bunch of stuff in there that you might want to be using. So definitely don't sleep on technical SEO, guys. SEO gets easier, and I guess I'll play devil's advocate a little bit on this one too, because since I've been doing SEO, it actually feels like it has been getting easier for me, right? In the beginning, I was a mess. I didn't really know what I was doing. But as you just do SEO for a long time, it feels like things really start to get easy. And it feels like you can just replicate the process for pretty much anything by just changing some small variables here and there, depending on what the business model is, what type of website is, and that kind of stuff. But I will also agree in a way because, SEO is actually really hard to scale. Like if you have an SEO agency and you're trying to do good SEO on a bunch of websites, it's really hard to scale this to a bunch of websites at the same time. You're gonna have a serious team in place with some serious hires. And over the years, I feel like SEO is definitely getting more complex, right? Because back in the day, you could just get away with insanely easy, it's insanely like black hat and just really cheap and easy like link building tactics, keyword stuffing, all that kind of stuff, and it just doesn't work anymore. So it's definitely getting harder and harder over the years. And you keep getting people saying like, "Oh, SEO is dead now." But what they really mean is SEO is dead for me because I'm not willing to change and adapt and to, advance myself as an SEO as Google's algorithm gets a little bit more complex. Next up, site age doesn't matter. And I'm not 100% on this one. I would say site age definitely does matter, but it's really hard for me to measure like how much site age actually matters. Because I think that really the most important thing that comes with site age is building your website's authority. And that can take some serious time to establish all of this credible backlink authority with Google, right? Like if you have a website that's 10 years old, but it has zero backlink authority, does that site age really matter? Like how far is that going to get you? And I think the answer is not too far. But I do think that site age is definitely a thing. It's just hard to quantify like how powerful it is. I think Google does look at it, and I think we actually found out they are looking at it in the Google leaks as well, just to really confirm it. And if you think about it, it's kind of like, hey, I've had this best friend for a long time. I know them really well. I really trust them and respect them. I think Google can feel the same way about websites, right? They know your website is good. They really trust the information. You've been ranking steadily for a long time. They kind of respect you and they trust you, and they're willing to send more traffic to you. But yeah, kind of hard to gauge how much site age actually does matter. Because what if there's this older website like this and then I just go and I get a higher DR, like I get a DR 100, whatever. Forbes is not a good example, but yeah, I outright them, I get better DR, I have more topical authority. How much does site age really matter in that situation? I think the answer is if I really surpass them on authority and surpass them on topical authority and content and user engagement metrics, I'm going to beat them no matter what their site age is. Backlinks won't improve your rankings. Yeah, I think we already covered that in the number one point that we made on this list. I made this video over here, 7 SEO winners analyzed. And in the video, I just went over a bunch of our link building clients, what kind of links we're building to them, what kind of websites they have, and why they're succeeding with SEO. And we've got reports going out like this every day of the week, every week of the year. So yeah, I don't really know how people can argue backlinks don't matter, or they don't work, and they won't increase your rankings. Here's where we started building backlinks, where the red arrow is. Then you can see the traffic go up. It happens time and time and time again. PBNs don't work. Yeah, PBNs definitely still work. And there's a lot of stuff that's even worse than PBNs that still work. A bunch of auto-generated spam works. Even like spam blog comments can still work. There's a bunch of stuff that you might not want to do, but it still works. And it's important as SEOs that we at least recognize and know it's working because that helps us become better SEOs rather than saying, oh, PBNs are a thing of the past. And I definitely will admit that PBNs were stronger in the past and I don't like using them as much now. I like making them a relatively small part of my backlink profile because I'm interested in creating things that will definitely not get any kind of penalties in the future. So I build very conservatively. And if I want to go and sell a website in the future, I don't want people to say, oh, it's propped up with, like 100 PBNs or whatever, because it might be harder to sell that website. But we have to understand that PBNs definitely still work. Google doesn't make mistakes when ranking or penalizing websites. Yeah, we're gonna have to go ahead and agree. Agree that this is horrible advice. TravelLemming.com, great website. Google hates it now. HouseFresh.com, great website, great content, horrible rankings now. Google hates them because of how they're monetized. LinkedIn Pulse went from about 3 million traffic to about 20 million traffic now. Is this the greatest content in the world? Is Google making a mistake by ranking this stuff? Yeah, I would say Google's definitely making a mistake by ranking this stuff. Anyone can go and create content on LinkedIn Pulse and rank it. It's not good content. Doesn't have to be helpful content. Doesn't have to follow any of their guidelines. It just has to cover the keyword, be targeting the keyword correctly, and you're probably going to do pretty well. If there's no other LinkedIn Pulse articles on that subject, and you're maybe doing some interlinking, or maybe sending a backlink or two at it. Not to mention some of the websites I covered in yesterday's video. Like this one actually had really good content and they got hit. This one has really crappy content and they're doing very well. These two websites made by the same exact person with the same exact content strategy, one doing horribly, one doing great. Is Google making a mistake here? They have to be making a mistake because these should either both go one way or both go the other way, right? So no, Google's algorithm is not perfect. And that's just kind of the nature of algorithms, right? Algorithms work in these very broad strokes and they try to handle everything at the same time. So it's only natural that they make a lot of mistakes. So if you get hit, it's possible that your rankings just go up into the future for no real reason, right? Google's algorithm could just get better and they could decide they love you again. Talk about this a lot more in depth in this video I made yesterday, 5 content sites destroyed. SEO is only content and links. And you know what? I actually find myself saying this sometimes because as I, progress in my SEO journey, I feel like SEO really is content and links. Content and links and, making sure technical SEO is okay. And of course, stuff like user engagement metrics. So I guess right there, I've already like kind of disqualified this one and it is bad advice, right? And SEO definitely is getting more complex, like I was talking about on one of the previous points. One of the things that I hear Ted Kubitis saying pretty often on his show over here, SEO Fight Club, is that SEO is kind of really this game of diversification of signals. Like if you're only working on one part of the signals, you're not really doing the full scope of SEO. You're gonna have a really hard time, and you really need to do like all of these things. I think Matt Diggity also said pretty much we live in that age of SEO of do all the things. So yeah, content and links are kind of like the backbone of SEO, but there are also all of these other things you need to be paying attention to as well. Cheap SEO is a deal. Definitely horrible advice. Actually, I'll just go ahead and say there is some times where you could cheap SEO and it could be a good deal. And I would say you probably have about a 3% chance of the SEO being good if it's really cheap, and probably about a 97% chance of the SEO being bad. And the reason for this is quite simple. Why would someone who knows how to do SEO very well do it for you for very cheap? If you believe this, I think you just kind of have a fundamental misunderstanding of how important SEO is and how much money you can earn from doing SEO on a website. SEO can completely make or break a business. It can be the difference between your business doing $1,000 in revenue a month to, a million or $10 million in revenue a month. So why would someone who actually knows how to do SEO and do it very well would do it for you at an extreme bargain? It just doesn't make sense. So if you want to take this gamble, go ahead. But you have to also understand that this 7% chance that they're doing bad SEO is probably going to be you. You're not going to be the lucky one. And there's a high chance that you're just shooting yourself and your business in the foot, right? And this is going to make it extremely harder for your business to progress its SEO to get better rankings in the future. Because once you've done bad SEO, Google starts to distrust you, and you do not want that to happen because you kind of dig yourself into this hole and it just gets hard to climb out. So yeah, you might be able to find a deal from time to time. You might be able to find like a new guy who doesn't really know what he's doing. He's offering low prices. But most of the time when people are offering cheap SEO, cheap backlinks, whatever, you really do get what you pay for. But you want to take that gamble? Be my guest. Assuming all web developers know SEO and SEO best practices, yeah, I've seen some web developers make some crazy comments from clients sending us emails like, oh, my web developer said I could do this. They said I could migrate my website and I don't need to 301 anything. Like, okay, congratulations. You lost all of your authority and now you're not ranking for anything. Good job, web developer. This would kind of be like asking your psychiatrist how to treat your broken arm. Yeah, they're both kind of like in the general like health vicinity, but I think a doctor and a hospital probably know a lot more about your broken arm than your psychiatrist. I think Google will always choose your preferred canonical URL. Yeah, I'm not a really big technical SEO person, but I think Google treats these canonicals as a suggestion, just kind of like they do follow and no follow links these days. So you definitely want to be careful with this stuff. Believing negative SEO doesn't work. I would say that most people doing negative SEO or trying to do negative SEO just aren't good at it and it doesn't work. I would actually kind of agree with this one for a large amount of cases that I've seen. For example, on this page right here, and this is a single page, this isn't a domain, someone tried to negative SEO this page by sending a ton of blog comment spam at it. And this is before the blog comment spam right here. This is after the blog comment spam. Basically, the rankings went up. It skyrocketed the page to the top of page one, and it just didn't come down. So yeah, a lot of people suck at negative SEO. It's really easy to be bad at negative SEO, but I think there is definitely negative SEO out there that does work, but it takes a lot more time and know-how and effort. And it's like, this super advanced kind of black hat stuff that most people don't know how to do. I'll also just say that a lot of people think they're being negative SEO'd when they're not. A lot of times you just get this spam on the internet. Everyone gets these spam. You've probably seen these k.html backlinks flying around. I wrote an article over here on those on slickslot.co. No, these aren't negative SEO, but yes, they can affect your SEO, but it's not someone like attacking you. Anyways, yes, negative SEO can work. No, a lot of people kind of just aren't good at it. Exact match domains do not work. Yeah, exact match domains definitely do work, as well as partial match domains. We did see that there was an exact match domains demotion in the Google leaks, but that doesn't mean that they are completely demoted, that they don't work, but they do try to kind of discount the power of them a little bit in some way. We don't know how much that is, but if you go and look at the Google search, you'll find tons of exact match domains everywhere. Here I'm searching for Delaware SEO. Here's Delaware SEO OMG, SEOdelaware.net, Delaware SEO Agency. So that's 3 exact match domains on that one. Now we're searching Miami SEO. We have the Miami SEO Company, Miami SEM. SEM is kind of like SEO, SEO-Miami.com. Anyway, I don't know why people would say this because you can literally go look for any keyword and you'll see exact match domains everywhere. It just doesn't make sense. But people like to say the same stuff. Backlinks don't work, expired domains don't work, exact match domains don't work. And then you can just go and use your eyes, go onto Google, and you see the exact opposite. So yeah, definitely don't want to listen to everyone you see on the internet. And just remember, some of these people on the internet that say a lot of stuff like this, they are very loud and they'll have a bunch of people agreeing with them because they don't want these things to be true. They want to just be like, oh, Google, I'm following your guidelines, so choose me. And all these other people are evil or bad or whatever. But yeah, it's just not the way SEO works. Keywords in the URL don't matter for ranking a page. Yeah, I would say keywords in the URL is like the #1 SEO on page factor. Again, let's go back to this keyword Miami SEO and let's see how many of these pages have SEO and Miami in the URL or the domain name. Number one, the Miami SEO company. Yep, in the domain. Number two, they have SEO and Miami in the domain. Number three, Miami SEO in the URL. Number four, Miami here, SEO here. Number five, Miami SEO in the URL. Miami SEM. This one only has Miami SEM, not SEO, but yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. This one, of course, SEO Miami. Number eight, they have search engine optimization in Miami SEO. Google, of course, understands search engine optimization to mean the same thing as SEO. Number nine, they have Miami and SEO in the URL. 10, SEO and Miami in the URL. So that's literally 100% of the domains that we checked in just this one search having the keywords in the URL. If you want to believe that's not true, then maybe my content and my channel is not for you. Next up, Google does what's best for the end user. Yeah, that's not true. You know what Google does care about? Their stock price. This is what any corporation cares about. It's the only thing they are required to care about. It's their literal job to increase their stock price. There's also this really cool article over here, The Man Who Killed Google Search, who talks about a fellow over at Google who basically, once he got into power over there, he started making changes that would making the product worse on purpose so that they have people on their platform longer. But at the same time, Google does want their users to have a good time. So I think they're kind of having to try to balance like what users want and what's good for their money. Looks like their money is doing pretty well right now. And I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news lately, but there's a ton of negative press about Google search results lately and how they suck so bad. So maybe the end user isn't so satisfied right now with Google. CTR manipulation doesn't work. Yeah, I think we talked about this one in the previous ones. Google is measuring clicks. Clicks do matter. The thing with CTR manipulation, though, is there are a ton of really bad services. So if you want to try to do this kind of black hat stuff of manipulating clicks and sending fake clicks to your website, I would be really careful with it. And I think as it gets more popular now, I think people are really starting to pay more attention to this stuff. That, yeah, they might kind of tweak their algorithm, try to improve things. So I'd be a little bit careful with this right now. But yeah, it definitely does work. What else would you add to the list? And go ahead and leave in the comment below. What would you add to this list? Let me know. And I think I'm going to go over a couple of comments here as well. Of course, I made this comment here saying I was going to make a video on this and trying to scare Peter a little bit. But yeah, hopefully me calling him bald didn't bother him too much. But I think he actually made a post about being bald and why we should trust him because he is bald, just like Neil Patel. So Igor agrees with everything. Lad. Ranking for an image is useless. Yeah, ranking for images can definitely be good. It's not something I focus on too much, but it can definitely be good. SEO is just putting keywords on pages. And yeah, SEO, a lot of it is just putting keywords on pages. You can go check out Kyle Roof's Lorem Ipsum experiments for more information on that. However, of course, there's a lot more to SEO than just putting keywords on pages. Google is a good search engine. I'm actually going to have to say Google is a good search engine. I would say it's the best we got. If there were actually truly better options, those options would have higher market share. Parasite SEO doesn't work. AI content doesn't work. Yeah, they definitely both work. I don't really know who's saying this stuff. Parasite SEO did take a little bit of a hit with a lot of paid parasites getting manual actions, but there's still a ton of parasites that are working as well as free parasites like Medium, LinkedIn Pulse, Reddit, Quora. AI content doesn't work. Yeah, it's definitely still working as well. Like a lot of these sites I was just showing you that did bad and good. Some sites with AI content are doing good. Some sites are doing bad. I think it just depends on your monetization a lot more than what type of content you have at this point. So Google says, hey, these are helpful content updates, but it really seems more like the affiliate and ads-based, content site updates. All right, guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and stop there. It is Friday here and I am tired and I want to take a break and not focus on SEO for just a little bit. If you liked the video, go ahead and give it a like and give my channel a sub. If you hated the video, let me know in the comments why you hate it. I like doing this kind of content, but maybe you don't like it. I want to make my channel as helpful to you guys as possible. So yeah, just let me know what you think. All right, guys, see you next time. Bye-bye.